I found out that Americans can own property even though you were not born in Mexico. You can own a property through a trust in Mexico, and it's a trust through a bank in Mexico.
Oh my gosh, that is so cool. Welcome to Momentum in Real Estate, your guide to success in the dynamic world of real estate. I'm Cory Wolf.
And I'm Kristin James. Whether you're just starting out or a seasoned pro, we're here to help you reach new heights.
Success in real estate comes from learning, growing, and serving others.
Join us as we dive into strategies for lead generation, marketing, market trends, and client relationships.
Get ready to ignite your momentum and achieve your goals in real estate.
Let's dive in and unlock your full potential.
This is Momentum in Real Estate.
Today's guest is Victoria Aguilera, a real estate broker with the Land Company, serving clients across Texas and New Mexico. As a dual licensed agent, she works with buyers and sellers across residential properties, luxury homes, and land transactions. Victoria provides a bilingual experience in English and Spanish, helping clients navigate cross-state real estate opportunities. Welcome to the podcast, Victoria. We're glad to have you.
Thank you. I'm glad you invited me.
We're so excited, and I should make you two speak in Spanish the whole time.
Muy bien, perfecto.
No, gracias.
No, gracias. Oh my gosh, how fun. Okay, I can't wait to get to know you a little bit more, Victoria. So tell us your real estate story. Like, how'd you get here? Tell us all the things.
Yes. So also, when she said that I am a broker in Texas and New Mexico, I am also a global broker. I list properties. I just started. You guys are starting with me this new endeavor, and I just listed properties at the beach in Mexico. But I'll tell you,
This
yes,
is so cool.
I
Oh
know
my
I'm so
goodness.
excited. Yes. How I started in real estate was 25 years ago in El Paso, Texas. And the first year that I sold over $1 million. So for El Paso back then, that was about 20 houses, about 18 houses or so. So that was a lot. And I decided, whoa, I'm doing so good. I want to go to a bigger city. So I went and I interviewed brokers in Houston and in Dallas, actually. And then, yes, I moved to Dallas and I was selling real estate in Dallas with Abby Holiday. May she rest in peace. And that was a great experience for me. And then I decided that I wanted to, after a few years, I'm like, I want more of life. So I decided to moved to California and I said, I'm not going to get licensed here. I'm just going to do what I came to do, which was learn about acting, producing, and all that. And after a while, a few years, I said, I'm going to go back to Texas, but I had let my license expire. So I had to get relicensed. So I got relicensed in Texas. And I said, well, might as well, since it's El Paso, Texas, and we're border town with New Mexico, get a double license, get a license in both states. So that's where I'm at. That's how I started.
I'm so curious, so how did you get into beach properties in Mexico? Like, when did that
Yes.
become part of your repertoire?
Yes, El Paso, Texas. I don't know if you guys know, we are a border town, not only with New Mexico, but also with Mexico.
I've been there, right
Oh,
across
really?
Juarez.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah, I've been to
Oh,
Juarez.
I was born in Juarez, and it used to be so beautiful.
I
And
know.
with all the immigration from many different countries and being a border town,
Yeah.
and with all the stress with drug cartels and
Yeah.
everything, it became something not that very nice. So
Right.
my family and I, we moved when I was a teenager.
Mm,
I became a citizen, a naturalized citizen. And then my family, that we just started starting our lives here.
sure.
And many people from Juarez, they would ask me, can you help me sell my house? And it's a border town. And in Juarez, and I didn't know the laws. It's very different. And then I also had my just, throughout the years they'll ask me, and I will let go business and just send referrals. I'm like, I'm not really trained for Juarez, for Mexico. And then about a year ago, my aunt, she asked me, well, I have acreage in Querétaro, very south from Mexico. And she said, help me. You're great selling real estate. And I love my tia. And I said, let me find out if I can. So then I started asking how it works. Over there, they work with Notary Public. A Notary Public is not something, they're more like attorneys, a Notary Public over there. It's not here that they just put a stamp and name and give me your ID. No, over there, they're the ones that close the transactions. They're like almost as attorneys. And then I found out many different laws, and I said, well, might as well get certified as an international, professional salesperson, CIPS. And I got my certification. And I said, well, if I really want to sell, really need to get my contacts. So then I started finding all the people that I know. And it happened to be that in the Riviera Maya, there's a friend of mine from many years that moved from California and owns his own brokerage. And we agreed to list properties together. And I said, I really need to go and see the properties for you to tell me more. I need to take my own pictures. What is this house that I'm seeing that's next to a cenote? A cenote, I don't know if you know that it's a sinkhole with water, with like cavern water, and it's so beautiful out there. And I went to see other properties, and then we talked about our agreement of listing agreement percentages. And yeah, oh, about my aunt's property, I ended up finding out that I cannot help her, not because I didn't learn, I learned everything on how to do it, but her property is in an, it's called Ejido, which means native people from Mexico, the Mayans or different cultures. If they work the property, they work the land, they can own it without paying any money for it. And part of all those acres were already invaded by them, and they had the right as a law to own it. And then I couldn't help her with that because it was called an ejido. So there's many different things to learn, but I'm very excited that my favorite part of the world, which is the Caribbean Sea, I'm getting to sell and list beautiful properties at the marina, by the ocean, condos from 150,000 to 3 million. And I'm dating my website, entering everything there. And so, yeah, you guys, oh, and then I found out that Americans can own property even though you were not born in Mexico. You can own a property through a trust in Mexico, and it's a trust through a bank in Mexico. Hmm.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, that is so cool. Okay,
Yes.
so how do you navigate listing a property? I mean, are you traveling there often to like be there? What if you get calls? Like, just explain the logistics of it all.
Yes. So I have my laptop, which is my best friend, and I had to hire an assistant. And for things that I cannot do while I'm out there, and then that my assistant can help me as much as she can help me for not having a license, because there's many things that non-licensed assistants can do. But what I do, yes, I started traveling, and this just started. So then I go out of town, and getting to the Caribbean Sea in Mexico is pretty much, it's very simple, especially from Dallas. It's like a direct flight. So there's direct flights to either Cozumel or Playa or Cancun, and then you just go and explore the Riviera Maya. And so what I do, I take my computer, my phone works everywhere. But if I will be in a zone where it doesn't work, I make sure that I post a message saying that I'll be out in the field looking at properties to please leave a
Mhm.
message, and I'll return the call as soon as I come back, and I'm able to. And what was your other question? Sorry.
Oh, it was just kind of the logistics of like,
Yes.
like when you're listing property, do you have somebody kind of in country that's helping you because you can't be there all the time?
Yes. So I am very, very blessed. This is the way I work my whole life. And I didn't know that it really works. You want something so bad, you attract it. You are open to it and wait for the opportunity. Just when I started my land company, it was during the whenever it happened that 2020 that people were not getting able to get out. That's when I said, well, if I can get out, I'll get educated and trained. And that's when I got my license for both states. And then I said, now after the 2020, when people started selling, there was a lot of agents hungry. They wanted to sell. In El Paso, it's not the biggest city with I had a lot of competition. I said, well, I can sell, I can sell land. There's a lot of vacant land. And I got a German that he's a wholesaler. And then he called me and he said, would you, I made an offer for one of his properties. And then it didn't go through because it didn't work out with the buyer that I had. But the company, the German company, they said, we are looking for somebody that will represent us and list all our land. And they were very generous with what they were going to pay because land has to be a little bit more since the prices could be lower. And they said, we're looking for an agent that can sell houses in both states. I'm like, well, I am a broker that sells houses in Texas and New Mexico. They said, we would like someone to speak Spanish. Yo hablo español. And I'm like, I'm your girl. So I was ready. I was ready. And
That.
then I got all those listings, and these past 2 years have been really profitable, but I attracted it. I
Yeah.
attracted it. I was selling properties all the way to Hatch, New Mexico, and all the way Santa Teresa and everything all the way around Chaparral. And and then I waited. Then I said, it'll be nice that now I sell beach properties. What if I get to sell in the Caribbean Sea where I love all the Caribbean Sea and the Riviera Maya? And then it happened to be that there was an event at my local Credit Association of Realtors for global agents. So then I became a global agent, and when
Hmm.
they asked me the same question that, how did you go about it? I attracted you guys. I told them, that's what I wanted. And you guys are here, and I'm here with you guys. We
Hmm.
made a trip. We went, we saw what we could sell there's a lot of new construction. There's a lot of American people that own businesses out there building hotels and everything. And they were telling us, we
Hmm.
can pay you this much. Will you get the finances through us? And I thought, many of the houses that I like, the resales, I said, how can I go about it and pick, the exact spots? And then I waited. And then there was Andy. He's the brother of my friend who I've known for years, and she's very successful. She was in network marketing in Dallas when I met her, and her brother lives in the Caribbean, and he speaks English, and he's a broker now. He was waiting for me, for someone like me. I said, well, I've been waiting for you. And he's even so super handsome,
Hmm.
married and everything, of course, but I'm saying I get to work with somebody that speaks English and then English and Spanish,
Yeah.
and he's so successful, and then he's even good looking. I mean, why can I? So I attract what I want. I really am open, and I'm so excited that God is so good. That's
That's
how I
great.
feel because
Well, it's a
God is
great
amazing.
evolution of your business. You've been in the
It's
game for a long
amazing.
time, and so this is kind of your next level, in terms of
Yes.
your business focus. And so tell us a bit about, you obviously have done quite a bit of focus on land sales. It's
Yes.
become a real, like, strategic niche for you. What have you learned from focusing on land? I mean, that's its own animal. Cory and I both do a fair amount of land sales here in our region, alongside, existing homes and residential property. So what have you learned about by focusing on land sales?
You guys are in the area of the Dallas Fort Worth, right? There's a lot of land.
We're not. No, we're in Western North Carolina. We're in
Oh,
the Blue Ridge Mountains.
oh, so nice. Very nice. What I've learned through selling it so much, I've learned, well, everything starts with the land. Everything's like everything makes sense. Selling land, I sell a lot of land in New Mexico. In New Mexico, there is a lot of wells, a lot of septic tanks, a lot of propane gas. And I learned that if I was going to list a piece of land, I better become an expert on it. I better go and take a picture myself and not send someone or just take it from the internet. No, if I'm gonna go and stand on the land and then walk it. I have a great app. If you guys sell land, it's called Land. What, do you guys have it?
Oh yeah, we use it all the time.
Oh, I love it. It takes you directly into the Central Appraisal District, and it tells you exactly where you're standing. And of course, when they will need to get a survey. So I learned that I go and I take the picture, I walk the land. If I don't know about the services, I ask the neighbors. I actually wear my boots to go list land because it's vacant, it's desert area. There's lizards, there could be snakes. One time I went to list a piece of land, eh, and I love everything that I've gone through. I went to list a piece of land, and a pack of wild dogs were coming to me out of nowhere. And I said, I
Ah!
won't make it to my car. And then I remembered that I've heard that if a bear is attacking you, you open your arms and make a sound. And I thought, this is no bear, this is dogs. So what I did, I really opened my arms and then I made because I'm gonna think it's so funny. But they did not bite me. They went away, and I was able to get into my car. But listing that piece of land, I sold it, and it was very profitable for me, and I have no regrets. And the other
But
ones that
did
I
you
learned,
disclose the wild dogs to the buyer?
they just got together. There's houses, nearby. I didn't even know whose dogs. They were not even ferocious breeds. They were just this kind of
Random
random
breed
dogs
dogs.
that
They weren't
decided
like
to.
coyotes or
And then when I was telling my friend, he said, well, he loves dogs. He said, they were probably not going to bite you. And I said, they didn't look that they came to say hi. They were coming running towards me and then barking. So those are funny stories that happen. And I, when I list a property, I do put on special instructions that's wild. There's
she did list
you
it
find
in a way.
a bear. No, there's no bears in this area, but yes, that to be careful because they know it's vacant land and it's out in the desert. What I learned from listing houses, for example, in the city of Chaparral, New Mexico, Chaparral has two counties. And both counties, they're different. In one county, you could have businesses, and the other one, they have a lot of restrictions. I make sure that I inform people on what I know, and I just tell them, please call the county. This is the county for that town, and ask if you're able to do your business and sell cannabis, which there was a lot of businesses like that. And because I didn't want them to buy something thinking that they could open their business. I said, well, this other county is Otero, and I have another lot across the street, and it's a different county. And then on that one, you could have horses and you could have business and you could have even two mobile homes in that land. I also learned about wells. And if there's no water in a place, it doesn't mean the end of the world. They can get their well. And then I'll get all the numbers from people that businesses that do wells. And I said, and you can find more on your own. And this land has this service and that service and so on. Yes. I even learned on how to write contracts on owner financing. When the owner will offer financing, I found the title companies that would offer to close and their attorneys to look into that. So I became very knowledgeable when selling land. Mhm. I build a lot of self-confidence. So from going from vacant land and dogs that want to bite me to go to million, $3 million houses, if you guys were to see the ones that I just listed, I'm like, this is a piece of cake. And it's so nice. Yes. Mhm.
That's priceless. Oh, I
Yeah.
love that.
Mhm.
Well, tell us as we wrap up here a little bit, like tell us how faith has played a big part in your business. We'd love to hear that.
Everything. In 2020, when it happened, just like every town, El Paso, my dad died during the 2020. And you don't want to, and you start questioning God. And I'm like, it's not God, the one, it's the enemy doing this. The enemy's doing exactly what he wants. I'm like, no, no, no. I'm going to hold on to God. And I have my local church, Christian, non-denominational. They're Bible based, and I hold on to Scripture, and I just have a lot of faith, and I know that God's promises are true and are real. And when I said I attract it, it's just faith. I just ask God because He said, "Knock and the door will be open," and I'm like, I'm out here, and He's so generous. He's so good to me, and that's where I'm at. Yes. And this journey with the global, it's for tax purposes, it's great. And it's like I'm going to be leaving on vacation for the rest of my career. So I love it.
That's
Yes, I recommend
amazing.
it. I recommend
Well,
it.
you sort of answered my last question was what excites you most about this next chapter of your business, your career, but really your impact in terms of what you've built and how you're contributing.
Mhm. I noticed that more than being just a broker or a realtor or a real estate agent. People see me as the real estate consultant. Just yesterday, a lady that came from Colorado, she had questions about how could she lower her taxes and, on her home, on her property taxes. And they call me like a friend. So I'm building friendships everywhere. And they have a real estate question, even without me advertising to send them postcards, or which is nice when I do, but they call me as their friend, as their expert. I've lived through all these years building friendships. I've gone to family gatherings. They bring me gifts from when they go out of town, and they invite me to their family gatherings. I've been through, unfortunately, funerals of their children, and I'm excited of this new. I'm going to get not only to go to Mexico, but I am a global agent. I am able to sell in Thailand, Japan, Germany. And I'm just waiting to see. It's so exciting to know that God has me on his palms, and then he's taking me, and then to see who I'm going to meet next and what's going to happen. And I think it's just very exciting. I'm very, very grateful.
That's so good. So well said. Thank you so much for being here, Victoria. Just so cool and what an inspiration to all of us that there's even more to reach for. So I love that. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Momentum in Real Estate. We hope you found valuable insights and strategies to propel your real estate journey forward.
If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe to our podcast and leave us a review. Your feedback helps us continue to deliver content that resonates with you. Remember, success in real estate is about continuous learning, growth, and serving others. Keep that momentum going and watch your business thrive.
Until next time, keep pushing forward and bringing your real estate dreams to life.
This is Cory Wall
and Kristin James signing off from Momentum in Real Estate.